Cool.
All right, so we have Wai Ting from the Fight Network over in Canada, one of our favorite Canadians besides John, Ariel, and Bret Hart, as I said before in the past.
Wow.
Yeah, and now Wai, like I know you hate when people ask you how are you, so I'm gonna avoid that. I was listening to a review of SmackDown, so I'm just get into it, man. How's it going? I know you like you're in your studio, so like what are you up to today?
Today we're just kind of doing our usual thing at the Fight Network. I just recently today worked on our John and I did our latest review reviewing Judgment Day 2004.
Okay.
So you can watch out for that probably by the time this comes out. And yeah, just kind of going through my day to day at the Fight Network.
Not curious, like how long do those podcasts like usually last, like without editing?
Yes. It usually takes us about. I mean, we pretty much record it in real time. There's really not that much editing involved these days. So it'll probably take us like, I don't know, anywhere between an hour and a half to sometimes 2 hours if there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Really, the bulk of the work goes into watching the shows, and that can often take longer than the actual length of the show itself, simply because, especially with some of these older reviews, you don't really have the urgency that you have with, say, something that's current. So sometimes I'll fall asleep partway through, and I'll have to wake back up and start it back up again. And that process can take a 3-hour show could take sometimes 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get hooked up with the WWE network?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have access to the network. Yes. We pretty much watch all of our old shows through the network these days. Yeah.
But like, do you guys get like a free subscription? I know the UFC gives media members like a certain code to watch their stuff.
We actually have one through the company that I share with a bunch of people at work. As far as I know, I don't think we get that for free or anything. No.
Yeah.
Well, I was sharing mine. Well, my friend, or he's not really a friend, he's like a fan of the show, gave me his login information. And I was watching the Rumble 2001, and then I went home, put it down, took a shower, came back, and then I found out that the WWE doesn't let you share your subscription with anybody anymore.
Is that right? Because, like, I know I probably shouldn't be saying all this, but I know that at least 2 people that have the same account. Maybe they don't allow you to watch at the same time.
No,
maybe
it was never a problem because I think I gave my login info to Josh.
Yeah, he gave it to everybody.
To New York Rick. To
you gave it to New York Rick. You're outing New York Rick as well.
Yeah, I gave it to Megan Anderson of Invicta.
Wow. That's why I feel like sharing.
My brothers, my nephews, everybody has it.
He was very generous with it, and then I think you looked it up, right? They recently just
just did it. Like they're not allowing anybody to share their devices with anybody or the subscription.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not like a limit of like you're allowed to share it between 3 people?
That's what I thought.
2 people.
Well, because I was in it for like over a year. I think New York Rick had it last year during the NXT Takeover.
How can New York Rick not afford his own WWE? No?
I'm sure he has his own.
I'm sure.
Through the company, I'm sure.
Well, like he was texting me, asking me about WrestleMania. He goes, "Hey man, I can't watch WrestleMania because there's too many people watching it." I told him, "Give it an hour." Same thing with Megan Anderson. She said that she had a hard time logging in as well.
Yeah. So we just outed all these people that have.
I'm going to report all of them.
Yeah. Hey, you just came back from like a road trip, right?
Yeah, a number of them actually.
Yeah.
So over the past month, I guess it's good to talk to you guys about because it was a combination of going to I went to UFC 209 in Vegas, and then came back, went to WrestleMania, and then we did UFC 210 in Buffalo, and then I had my own vacation in Chicago after that. So I've been on the road for like a good month, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Let's break down the road trip. We have like a bunch of questions for each of the road trip. Let's start with WrestleMania.
Sure.
I know you and John had your live podcast there, and it looked great, man. Like sold out. I think like one of my favorite moments of the show was when you guys had cut a promo to win tickets towards the end of the show.
Yeah. I love how you say sold out because we didn't charge anything for it.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
No, we didn't do the thing. No, we just said like, "Hey, show up if you guys are in the area." But it was like we did
a good turnout.
Fill the area, so I was very happy about that. But thank you. Sellout sounds great.
Yeah.
Sellout.
Dude, like totally lying. Just say that you guys sold it out. It makes it look good.
Yes.
But yeah, like, do you have any interesting stories that you want to share from that WrestleMania road trip?
Oh, I feel like there was a lot, but I think like something that'll always stand out to me is just like we stayed this time not in our own hotel, but Court Bauer, our friend,
Yeah.
who's probably familiar with, and a
Yeah.
lot of wrestling, a podcast are familiar with from MLW. He actually orchestrated this like he rented a house, and this was kind of like your very stereotypical like Floridian retirement house slash mansion type of thing in like community. And he booked this place, and he basically filled it with like wrestling podcasters and other people in the wrestling industry. So like it was like a whole house of like myself, John, Court, Alex Greenfield. At one point, Dave Meltzer was staying in the same house. So
yeah, crazy.
It was just like weird.
House.
Yeah, as wild as wrestling podcasters could get. Yeah, but it was really cool. It was cool, like hanging out with those guys, hanging out with Alex, and sharing a bathroom with Dave Meltzer. It was quite interesting.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's funny. I think like one of my favorite stories from that trip was your pissing story. When I guess you were pissing on someone's house or
just some homeless guys,
some homeless dudes.
Yeah.
Did I do that? Oh yeah. So there was this was after the WWE Hall of Fame, and you know how long those
yeah. I don't know how you guys did that. That's insane.
This might be one of the last ones, because like in years past, I really enjoyed the Hall of Fame. However, like this year, there's just so much else to do that I think I'd rather watch wrestling than like, you know, as much as I enjoyed those speeches. I can watch those speeches on the network and kind of get my fill that way and skip through some boring parts. But this was a long session, and then heading right out of the arena in Florida, I really had to pee, but so did everybody else, and so all the bathrooms were like full with like lines, and and so I did what any like normal you know, sane person would do, and that's decide to pee outside of the arena near our parking spot in a bush. However, this being Orlando, I guess even bushes are places of residence for. I didn't notice this until I was about to pee, and then this man shouted, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was in your house." So that was the story. Yeah. So.
Well, how did he respond back to you or no?
I basically just waited until he was asleep, and I went back because I really had to go.
Yeah,
that's funny.
How was it doing the podcast live in front of people?
You know what? Those I always kind of feel a little weird or nervous. Like, what if people don't show up? But we don't really plan anything at all, John and I. The 3 times that we've done these shows, we just kind of like really winged it from, you know, the most planning I think we ever did was like maybe the second time. And that was when we played the Grapple Kingdom video with me and Court that we just shot. But this time it was just kind of like John and I don't even really talk about like, hey, what do you want to talk about? It was just like winging it. You know, we'll see how many friends are there this time. Thankfully, like a lot of people showed up. Brian from our shows, Damien from our shows showed up. Court Bauer, Alex Greenfield. So we just had all of them on. We were so lucky though this time to have a guy come. His name's Marcus, and he ended up having a free ticket to give away for WrestleMania.
Oh, nice.
So I guess on the spot, like we wanted to find somebody to go to the show with him. And, you know, we didn't even talk about it beforehand, but we had a few volunteers wanting to compete for tickets.
Yeah.
And what better thing to do with a bunch of wrestling fans than a promo battle? And it was a lot of fun. It resulted. Yeah.
I mean, like how cool is it to see like a big giant picture, like, you know, that carries your head around to different arenas. Yeah. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, it's weird. Yeah, totally strange. The signs that go up at the arenas, it's I don't even know how it started, and like how I usually find out about it if there's a Wai Ting sign on TV is like, because I usually start Raw later. I like to save it up on the DVR so that I have that buffer I can skip through commercials for. So I won't even know. I'll just get texts, or I'll just get like messages on Twitter saying, "Hey, there's a sign of your name." I'm like, what, really?
That's crazy.
Sometimes I won't even be near a TV. I'll be on my way to work or something. But the guy who one of the guys who is responsible for a lot of the sign appearances is also the guy who's responsible for the big law cutouts of our faces, and his name's Bill. And he and his daughter Alex go to all these shows around Orlando, and they just they bring our signs. And they at one time, the best one was when AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble, last year. So here's AJ Styles making his big debut, and then here's Bill and his daughter Alex with a sign that reads, "Tune into the law coming up at TSN 1050." Right after the show or something. I watched that. I watched the Rumble with all those guys live at TSN. We went nuts. Seeing that. So the guy who made those signs and the guy who's responsible for a lot of them, his name's Bill, and he showed up at the live event, and I got to meet him for the first time, and it was really cool. It's super flattering,
Yeah,
super
it's crazy,
flattering.
because I think because you're like a videographer for the Fight Network, and I don't think Casey, Esther's fiance doesn't get that much love as you do, man. It's crazy. I don't know, it's crazy.
Man, I love Casey and I love his work. I love both of those too. Yeah. So.
Well, I was sorry for you with Casey. So when was it? I think it was a couple years ago. It might have been like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Are you talking about the press conference?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was during.
It was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago. So we were there. They're doing a Q&A for Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman, and Dana White was in the middle. And I spotted, Esther Lynn, and I was dying inside, pretty much fanboying the whole time. But I have a huge crush on Esther Lynn as well. So
I think she knows this too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But this is before I didn't even know she was engaged to Casey at the time. So I go say hi to Esther. I get a picture taken with her, and I was super excited about it. And then she takes off somewhere and asks Casey, without knowing that he's involved with her, and I asked her, "Hey, dude, you must be so lucky to get to work with her because she's freaking hot as hell." And I kept saying all these crazy, crazy stuff to him, not knowing that he's engaged to her. And
What did he say?
He just turns around and gives her this weird look and saying, "Well, she's my fiance." I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm already sure
that was his introduction to Casey.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Casey. So thank God he doesn't bring it up when I see him at events. But
man,
it was pretty embarrassing.
That's very funny. Does she know the story? I'm sure he told her afterwards.
I'm sure he told her afterwards. But
yeah.
Now when I see Esther and Casey, I just kind of give them. Well, I think last time we hung out with them, I bought both of them beer, so it wasn't awkward at all.
Do they even drink? I've never even seen them drink.
Very little. They shared.
They shared the beer.
They shared.
Yeah,
right.
It was cool.
That's
cool. Going on to
I love those two.
Yeah. They're cool people, man. Your Chicago trip.
Yes.
How was it? Did
have
you
you,
get a visit?
have you been?
No, I want to go just to visit the Goose Island Brewery. I think I texted you about that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I did not get to visit too much of that. I didn't actually drink all that much myself either. Okay. But Chicago's just amazing. I saw a Cubs game. It's just so massive and sprawling, more so than Toronto, more so than I would say even almost New York, New York is massive and big, but Chicago is just spread out, a lot more spread out. But the architecture is incredible. I got to do a Segway tour that a listener offered. Again, we have great listeners. So I got on a Segway for the first time, and that was a lot of fun.
What, out of all the places, why Chicago? Why'd you pick it?
Well, I think I was just looking for a place that was relatively close. Okay. Didn't take too much travel time. Okay. And a place that I think I was curious about, but that I didn't really know too much about. And it was either between that or Boston, because we're in Toronto. We're kind of close to the northeast of America. And I've been to New York a bunch of times, but I hadn't really been to Boston or Chicago. And ultimately, I think people recommended Chicago for there being more to do.
Yeah.
I thought you were there to see a girl. I don't know. Maybe. No.
No.
That was my awkward way of asking you if you were there. Because I think I saw a picture of you and somebody at the Cubs game.
Yeah, she's a friend. Yeah.
Okay, I just thought, okay, Wai Ting got
calling you out.
That's pretty nosy, Wayne. That's all. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yes, well, if you want, we talk some MMA. I think did you watch Ariel's interview with Nate Diaz yesterday?
I watched a little bit of it. I had a lot of wrestling last night, but I saw like the bits and pieces of it, and I don't know. What do you guys think? What, you think you'll think he'll fight anytime soon?
I think he will. I don't know. It's hard to say with the
First
Diaz
of all,
brothers.
do you think Conor and Mayweather will happen?
I will say.
I think so.
I will say yes.
I think so.
I would say yes.
I think so. I think there's too much money on the table for it not to happen.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I love how Nate just kind of pointed out how they're essentially selling wolf tickets. You know, by Conor has any chance. You know. Do you think, like, I mean, they're saying it's straight up boxing rules? Is that it?
Or straight up boxing rules.
Yeah, just straight boxing. Yeah.
It seems ridiculous to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always, thought that it would be a good fair fight in the middle and having a kickboxing match. But
yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Floyd try to kick.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it will happen. I don't know if it's got to happen. It's different because, like, boxing, you could go a while and talk about this one fight, and the guys eventually will kind of have their records still intact by that time the fight does occur. It's different in MMA, whereas McGregor could lose his next fight, and there goes the whole mystique of McGregor in this fight with Mayweather. So it has to happen. If it's going to happen, it has to happen, I think.
Sorry, so you're saying that if Conor loses, this will hurt him?
I think so. Stock? I think so, and I think there's a higher chance of, in MMA, there's a higher chance of losing. So,
definitely. Oh, you're saying if Conor loses his next MMA fight, he won't be able to do this?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is
if
like
he loses to Floyd in a boxing match, though, what's the big deal, right?
Yeah, there's no big deal. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I think with MMA, he has killers like Ferguson after him. He has, Khabib after him. Mm-hmm. That third fight with Nate Diaz after. So he has killers.
Yeah, it's not easy.
In mixed martial arts, he can easily lose any of those fights.
True.
So I mean,
so what's the best way to make money while you still have all this,
momentum behind you? It's Mayweather, and who knows? He can fight Mayweather, make that $75 million, and then cash out and bye McGregor.
So I take it I'm not like. I take it you guys are more like fans of the entertainment side, or I assume you're probably fans of both. The sporting side and also the side.
I think we understand both.
Right. So for something like this, are you okay with, like, let's say Conor going out to doing a boxing match for the sake of making money versus while keeping the division basically kind of holding two divisions up?
I am. I think. Well, I mean, I feel bad for the divisions and the people in it. But I think him going out there, and I think people understand that if it was an MMA fight, Mayweather probably wouldn't stand a chance. And I don't think people are giving McGregor much of a chance in the boxing fight. So if he does lose, I don't think it hurts him all that much. People weren't giving him that much of a chance anyway, and they kind of understand that in a lot of ways, mixed martial arts a mixed martial artist could dominate a boxer anytime, most of the time. At least most of the time. So that people understand that. I think even the general public understands that. So. Yeah,
and I always feel weird, saying that I don't feel comfortable, like saying, fighters shouldn't be making money.
Yeah.
So I think if you have a chance to make money, do it, because in MMA and boxing and any kind of combat sports, you have a very little small window of opportunity to make money. So Conor McGregor is 27 years old. I don't think he would be making $1 million or millions of dollars in MMA. So I think it's smart of him to fight boxing to make that money. I think the dangerous or the risky side of that is the UFC losing, Conor, if Conor decides to cash out and retire.
Yeah. Or, like, not to mention the danger of basically losing the champion of two of your divisions. What does that make the rest of the division, right?
Yeah, because it devalues that bout. It's almost like the US and IC title. Like those belts don't mean crap. It's the same thing. If Conor leaves and he leaves as champion, it devalues those belts tremendously, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at like Jose Aldo right now. He's fighting Holloway right now for the title. Well, he has a title, but even then, I think everybody knows that title is not a real title in a sense. So it devalues whoever is holding that title while McGregor's out. But it's kind of.
But fans seem to be okay with it.
Yeah, in a way.
Fans definitely want Conor to like be active and to defend, but like I don't see Conor getting too much hate from the fans for holding everything up.
Yeah, it's a different sport now. I think in 2017, it's safe to say that the ballots, whether it be real or fake, don't mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
I think people are just interested in big fights.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
do you guys like that?
I'm more of the sporting guy. I mean, I want a championship to mean something. Just like in pro wrestling, I mean, I would love the U.S. title to mean something, the IC title to mean something, but unfortunately they don't. And that kind of like takes away for me as a fan.
Yeah.
So,
would you be up for paying for that pay-per-view?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the whole world would be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more interested in. I mean, being a fan of. Predominantly being a fan of MMA more so than boxing. I mean, I'm more interested in that than Pacquiao Mayweather. So
easily.
I wonder worldwide if that could be Pacquiao Mayweather. You know, I think it has a really good chance of beating it.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, especially the promotional side, because
Mayweather
carried a lot of the promotion for his fight with Pacquiao.
Right, yeah.
Them two co-promoting, it'd be insane.
It'd be crazy. Now wait, so why is it that you only go to McGregor fights, like when you guys cover, or local fights when you guys cover the UFC? I noticed that you only go to the States when McGregor's fighting, and not
right.
Like with Arrow, the Arrow goes to pretty much all the pay-per-view events.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily true. Like we went to 209.
Oh yeah, in Vegas, right?
So usually, like whatever the Fight Network decides to cover is dependent on how big the show is, and how close the show is. So, for instance, we did Buffalo recently. It's for 210, just simply because of travel costs. You know, it was just a drive across an hour and a half drive. But beyond that, we'll try to hit up like the international fight weeks.
Yeah.
And just basically any show that's like noteworthy enough and newsworthy enough that we feel like we can get enough out of. I believe kind of what was it? Cleveland was kind of another short distance one. CM Punk was on that show, so that was kind of deemed valuable in terms of news coverage. But really, it comes down to that. We're not really like an MMA fighting or MMA junkie that goes to every show. We kind of have to be a bit more selective.
Okay. Is there a good chance that you're going to the July show here in LA?
I'll have to find out. Really, I'm not too sure. Like, I never really find out what shows we're really going to until probably like the month of. So I hope so.
Yeah, our bucket list to hang out with you guys. That's our bucket list.
Mine too. We're going to Roscoe.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
is Roscoe's do like people in LA go to Roscoe's though, or like?
No, they do, and there's multiple locations. So Long Beach, LA. I mean, there's a bunch. So if you're not in downtown, you have an option to go. So not all the time though.
No, not comics. Like I know, like you're a big comic book guy. What comic books are you reading right now?
I was a much bigger comic book fan, probably like I'd say like 2-3 years ago. Honestly, before I discovered jiu-jitsu, I think I was in my peak of my comic book collecting. But lately, I've only been reading one book, and that's Saga by Image Comics and Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona.
Yeah, I've seen that one before.
It's a great book, and I think I was like really into superhero books for a long time, but I think I just got like really worn down by all the events that. Like, especially Marvel now, they're doing all these like big crossover events to the point where I think like big events, you should kind of, it's like what's a good pro wrestling like analogy, you know? it's like a Hell in a Cell, you know? Like once in a while it's very special, and you know that it's the end of the feud when they do a Hell in a Cell. These days you're just kind of getting the Hell in a Cell once a year for the sake of doing a Hell in a Cell, and you know that it's not going to bring that finality to the feud that you usually expect from it. So I think it's a gimmick that they're relying too much on, and I was really burnt out by this recent event called Secret Wars that they tried to do. The delays just took forever, and by the delays took so long because I guess the artist took so long. that like it was just a mess. They basically started their new storylines even before this current storyline ended.
Yeah.
Just to keep up with their schedule. But beyond that, like I just knew, you know, there didn't seem to be a real sense of finality, and I also just kind of felt like as a fan that I was being kind of taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So I just I stopped picking all those up. But Saga like seems like it's a book that's made with a lot of care, a lot of authenticity, and it's not made as much about the financials in mind. It's more made for the artistry of it.
Yeah.
And I think Image Comics provides a lot of opportunities for creators to do that. So I highly recommend that book.
Yeah. And you're a big X-Men guy, right?
I was, yes.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like crossovers or even like big events, they had like X-Men Avengers, X-Men Inhumans, Death of X, like all going on around the same time, and I can see that being like, you know, it's like it wears you out. Yeah,
it's a little draining. I understand that's how they make money, right? Like they probably rely on the reason why they keep doing it is probably because it works. You know, it's probably people are buying these issues. The reason why they're doing all these number ones is because they know it sells. But I think for me, like it comes at the cost of, you know, the actual enjoyment of the art itself. So I don't know. I just kind of been bored with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and kind of rank your from the best to the worst as far as the Netflix, like Daredevil, Luke Cage.
Have you seen the trailer for the Defenders?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't yet.
How was it?
I just watched. It looks all right. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It seems to be delivering like exactly what you want out of it, and that's all four characters interacting. There's a hallway fight scene. It looks like between the four.
Wow.
My favorites are. I think I would rank Daredevil the first. I think that's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
I actually like Jessica Jones quite a bit, so that's my second.
That was my second too.
Yeah. And then I go Luke Cage and Iron Fist last.
Iron Fist is kind of hard for me to go through.
Yeah.
I still haven't even finished Luke Cage. I'm still like on the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And that's all I kind of based off and why I would put Jessica Jones number 2, because I got through Jessica Jones pretty quickly and I enjoyed it. Right. And Luke Cage, it took a while. It's still taking me a while to get through it.
So Daredevil seems to be, I would say, the consensus favorite amongst everybody. But I think it's up for debate depending on who you ask whether or not Jessica Jones or Luke Cage is better.
Yeah.
But they're both good. You know, it's more dependent on, I guess, what your own personal tastes are.
Yeah. Now I know like you're more of a Marvel guy than a DC person. But and I know I text you a billion times about this show, but The Flash is a freaking great show, man. You got to give it a chance. It's kind of like too like, you know, it can come out to be kind of happy-go-lucky, but it gets really dark.
It's one of the better ones for sure.
It's one of the better ones for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think if I grew up with like the DC characters, I would totally like be more interested in checking it out. I will.
Supergirl's not that bad either.
Oh, Supergirl's really good.
Yeah. Right, I hear like really good things about the CW shows. To me, though, it's just like a combination of like not really being that familiar with the characters. Also, I think like the CW shows sort of have like a look to it that kind of looks a little like cheap TV. And I make cheap TV, so I'm not like hating on cheap TV. But I guess like there's just so much competition out there, and like the Netflix stuff just looks such high quality.
Right.
What are your opinions of the Justice League movie that's coming out?
I liked it. You know, I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people like, because right now that whole growing up, you had the whole Marvel versus DC. You had to pick a side, and I think that's almost translated to how the movies. It's translated to film now. So people are picking sides now, where it's like
if they're really sad to pick. I'm not a huge DC fan, but like those movies, I mean, save the Nolan trilogy, but like those movies have not been very good, in my opinion.
They haven't. No, I think Wonder Woman looks great. I think it's gonna be really good. I'm looking forward to Justice League just to see how it is, and hopefully I don't know, because I wasn't too impressed with Batman v Superman at all. I think it was okay, but it wasn't good. It wasn't what I expected it to be.
Yeah, but I did like Man of Steel. thought that was pretty good with Zod.
Oh yeah.
With Zod and all, I thought that was really good. But and with DC, I give them, I'm giving them a break because I think they're still catching up. You know, they're just starting out their film franchises and stuff like that. So they're working out their thing, and I think they're doing okay.
It feels like with the Wonder Woman trailer, at least they're trying to inject a bit more of that Marvel type of humor into it. Yeah. Whereas, like I think Batman versus Superman maybe was kind of criticized for being almost too serious.
Yeah.
I've talked to some fans that actually aren't a fan, that DC's trying to copy Marvel instead of trying to do their own thing. So I don't know.
I always found it the other way around though. Like especially early on, like they always had that darker tone. Where Marvel always had the lighter tones. I always felt like they were doing something different. And I always grew up as a Marvel guy, so I never was I was like you, where I never really was involved too much with the DC characters. But I knew who they were, but I just didn't care too much to get interested in them. And then, but I kind of like, I'm all for it. I don't know. I'm different, dude. I just think people are like picking different sides, and it's just like they're nitpicking and instead of just appreciating, I don't know.
Yeah, I think everybody wants like the DC movies to be good, like there needs to be like solid competition. Because like characters like Batman, Superman, even Wonder Woman, they are like beloved characters, and I think everybody wants DC to do them justice. But for whatever reason, they just haven't really kind of lived up to the majority of expectations.
Right. Now, before I forget, wait, I was thinking about it all night, like about an anime suggestion. I think yesterday I said Death Note was a good one, but one that kind of will fit your tone is One Punch Man.
Okay, what's that? What's that about? I think I've heard of that. What is that?
It's about this guy who has one power, and he can pretty much defeat any monster with one punch. But he gets kind of depressed because he wants a challenge. So it's like an action comedy.
So he's depressed that he can beat people up too easily.
Yeah, and he wants a challenge. Yeah.
And so what is the challenge that he eventually finds?
I haven't got to the series, so I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay. It sounds interesting. Yeah. Because usually it's the other way around. It's like the protagonist can't do anything.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a protagonist that's too powerful, and he's depressed as a result.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It's pretty funny. It's a good one. But Death Note is good too. It's not horror. It's more like an action thriller. I would say. Cool. But One Punch Man is something that I think you'll enjoy.
Okay, I am looking for anime recommendations. Just because I'm going back to Japan in November, so nice. I'm trying to pick up some of the language too. So yeah, that'd be.
Are you going on vacation or for work?
Vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, I'll get to catch a New Japan show or something out there.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Oh, nice. Now before we go, talk about some pro wrestling. Cause I know, like right now, Monday Night Raw is like, I don't know how you guys do each Monday. It's like it's so hard for me to even get through hour one. A lot of times, especially with the whole Bray Wyatt and the whole House of Horrors. I know, like you didn't hate it too much. As everyone did, do you think that Bray Wyatt can ever recover from this and become like someone to take serious in the future?
I think he can. I think there's too much in the character.
Yeah.
Too much potential in the character for it to completely fail. The character is he looks too cool. The delivery is too cool for them to just completely give up on it.
Yeah.
I feel like it. I mean, I think from the time that it debuted, you just look at what the package is, and you automatically see a future main eventer on the level of an Undertaker potentially. Mm-hmm. But there are several reasons I think why they haven't reached that level yet with this guy. A lot of it can come down perhaps to the booking. He's been booked to come close to winning, but would always lose in the end. Even in this most recent program, he was booked to ultimately beat Randy, but Randy ultimately won the whole feud.
Yeah.
But even then, though, I can't really blame the company necessarily because I feel like if Bray was more over, they would keep the belt on him. I think a bigger problem perhaps is his promo style and how it's almost a little too vague. A lot of what he says. I've always wanted the Bray character to talk a little bit less and to do more. That's supposed to be sinister, something that could legitimately like make people scared of him, rather than all this campy stuff with the I don't know, worms and Sister Abigail and the dolls hanging on from the ceiling. I think it comes across more like it's kind of a high school school project, make a horror movie type of thing, rather than something that I think you could legitimately try to scare people with. So I feel like perhaps they need to find somebody who's a bit more capable of creating that type of a scary vibe for the character. Maybe even kind of get it less out of the haunted house, demon type of vibe, and more into like a realistic, almost like just somebody who's just kind of almost like a terrorist, not exactly like that, but I get you. Somebody who can legitimately like scare people. But I definitely think there's always still potential there, and I think it's not over yet for that character. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, man. It's been over a half hour, so we really appreciate your time. You can for the listeners out there, they can check out your shows at LiveAudioWrestling.com. Review of Raw on Mondays, review of SmackDown on Wednesdays, I believe, right? And then review of Wai. I think. Yep. Yeah.
And both those shows, Review of Raw and Review of SmackDown, are now both available on YouTube at youtube.com/LiveAudioWrestling, or you can just find everything of ours at LiveAudioWrestling.com. And so thank you guys as always for having me on.
Yeah, with great theme songs, both Review SmackDown.
Again, every great thing we have is a result of our listeners. We had like listeners submit their entries for theme songs. They were almost all amazing. So
they're so catchy. I found myself singing.
Me too. Me too. Shout out to Colby John and also to The Identity Crisis for providing some great themes. So thanks.
Awesome, man. And hopefully we're going to see you in LA pretty soon, man. Hang out with you, man, because I mean, like every time I talk to you, I'm always fanboying inside, so it's kind of embarrassing to admit. But yeah, keep up the good work, man. And like Josh and I always enjoy watching you guys each and every week.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, man. Hopefully sooner than later.
Take care.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Have a great day, Wai.
You too. Right. Thank you.